Does SEO generate leads for MSPs?
So my answer to this is, of course, yes. And the obvious answer here is that it generates organic leads directly from people searching. You mentioned Reddit. I saw another Reddit post in the MSP subreddit recently, and it was asking essentially, well, what websites are people going on when they are looking for IT solutions? And I replied and ended up being the top reply in the thread. Well, it's Google, of course, and that's where people are going on and searching for solutions to their IT problems for their small businesses. And one thing that I think MSPs tend to think is, well, I haven't really seen a lot of organic leads coming through. And especially if you're in a large market where it's competitive, it is very difficult to rank for keywords that are popular for MSPs because there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think people overlook is, a lot of MSPs will say, well, all my leads come from referrals or word of mouth. But that doesn't happen in isolation. Like even if you are given, or one of your leads is given a very good, recommendation for your MSP, that lead is probably still going to Google you. They're going to want to see, hey, is this business an ongoing business? Do they have Google reviews? Do they have details about their services? Does their team have qualifications? Do they have the ability to, meet certain compliance standards? All those things go into the purchasing decision. It's not like they're just going to take that recommendation and move forward with it blindly. So all that other stuff does touch on SEO. It's part
Yeah.
of the organic search experience. So I would say that for MSPs that are in very competitive markets, it might be difficult to get the as many leads coming in through organic as maybe if you're in a less competitive market. But still, it plays a very important part, regardless of your market and the size of your MSP, due to that vetting process that happens through organic search.
Yeah, and it's not like people just look at that number one spot, right? Like we had someone recently, a prospect, reach out and she said, I was like, well, how'd you find us? I always ask, make sure you ask. It's super important. And she said, well, I just did a Google search and you guys had the most reviews out of anybody. I don't know what I'm doing with IT, so I just go off of reviews. Now, we've done a whole podcast on how to get reviews and why it's important, but that's a recent testament of like just have more reviews than the next guy because even if you're third down on the organic keyword search on the map pack, you're probably going to be number one if you have the most reviews. Depending on factors such as proximity to the person searching, but like that's an easy way to stand out with SEO.
Big time.
That's
And actually, Google will actually look at your reviews too for keywords. They'll mine that for keywords. So if your customers are talking about your services, and hey, that's just more SEO juice that you're going to get for those specific keywords. So it helps not only in terms of the credibility, but for actually getting search results as well.
That's a great point, and that's a fantastic point. I will literally tell my client I will write the review for them, and I include those keywords in there. And they're almost always okay with me just doing that because sometimes they don't know what to say. Like they love a lot of things about us, so what should they talk about? And I literally will just type it up and send it to them. They copy paste.